backs. Yeah, please don't fall asleep. I'm just going to put a little music here. I came to the surprise that the speaker didn't have any battery, so I'm going to have to just put my phone with some music. But the protocol is going to be the following, guys. I'm going to count down from 10. And when I get to 1, okay, you guys all at the same time take a deep breath in. So fill your lungs as much as possible and hold for as long as you can. When you guys have to breathe again, when it's like totally necessary for you guys to just let go of the air and connect with breathing again, please raise your hand so I can tell you your time. I know that you're breathing again, okay? And you take a mental note. You just write that down and keep that for the records, because we're going to do a second one later and then we're going to compare. And thanks to what Maddie said, the mammalian dive reflex or marine mammal instinct. Sorry, the music kind of got annoying. Thanks to the mammalian dive reflex or marine mammal instinct, which is basically a built-in tool we all have as terrestrial mammals, but also whales, sea lions, you name them, dolphins, they also possess that built-in tool, which basically helps them to downregulate when they're underwater, holding their breath, cruising. So the same happens to us. Just by holding our breath, we are triggering the mammalian dive reflex to start happening. Well, you add water, it gets even better. So on Thursday, on the pool training, we're going to even feel it more. But just by holding your breath, guys, your heart rate slows down as a mechanism of self-preservation. When you hold your breath willingly, when you hold your breath voluntarily. So we're going to enter that, and then the second time later is going to be even more, we're going to carve more into that mammalian dive reflex, and it's going to show in terms of time, in terms of adaptations. We're going to be able to hold our breath longer. Okay, so yes, please. Ajá, de 10 para abajo, y cuando llego a 1, todo el mundo agarra una bocanada. Okay, and by the way, nasal or mouth inhale, I'll leave it up to you. On the second one, I'll point it out exactly as it should be. We're going to discuss throughout the whole class nasal versus mouth breathing as well. Maria?
Y cuando entonces tomamos una respiración y cuando
Una inhalación.
y cuando es que alzamos la mano.
Cuando ya no puedas más.
Okay.
Whenever you cannot hold it anymore, you know, you exhale, you raise your hand. Okay? So we're going to try and hold for as long as possible, as much as possible. Okay? So I'm going to start a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, ready? 1. Deep inhale, everybody. And off we go. Good job, everybody. We're at 30 seconds. That was 30 seconds. Yeah, 32 actually. Good job, guys. Getting close to, that was 54. 54, good job, breathe, breathe, breathe. We are at 1 minute. That was 1 minute sharp. Respira, respira, respiring. That's 106. Both of you, 106. And we still have Kettler and Jake holding. We're currently at 120. Heading to, that was 123, buddy. We still have Jake holding. And that was 130 sharp, bro. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Strong, in and out, strong. Good job, everyone. Okay, great. So you're gonna notice how later on the second one, we're gonna do better. We're gonna extend that time. Right now, I'm gonna give you a yoga block, and you're just gonna put it on the belly button area. Somewhere where it's not gonna slide and fall, where it's kind of at a good balance point. And this block is going to be an indicator for us to do diaphragmatic breathing. And the way we're doing it is, first of all, we're going to use the mouth, guys. And mouth is optional, but it's not the most effective airway for health. But it's optional for training, as we are now, because it offers more traction, more suctioning power. I'm able to suck in more air through my mouth, especially as I pressurize the air. As you see me shaping my lips as an O, I can feel that I'm getting that muscle to work, really, because it's forcing the muscle to really, do its thing. Mouth breathing is good for when you're doing a public speech, and you need to recover air quickly. This thing is in repeat, I'm so sorry. It is good for swimming, of course. You all know that when you're swimming, the mouth is the airway. Then it's good for singing. And it's good for recovery. And recovery, I mean when you really need to bring in, let's say we're surfing, and we get pounded by this set of waves, and we only have limited time, like seconds, before the next wave breaks on us. And your heart is pumping fast, and you need to recover, that oxygen, and you need to let go of some CO2 also, because CO2 levels may get really high as well. This way you get a lot of ventilation. You clean or clear yourself off of CO2 and recover some oxygen quick. Like I'm telling you, like in the quickest time, the most oxygen in and the most CO2 out is through the mouth, okay? Other than that, nasal breathing, we'll discuss the benefits of nasal breathing, and nothing can really compare to nasal breathing. But for training purposes now, we are, again, inhaling strong through the mouth and directing all that air to the bottom of the lungs. So we are voluntarily pushing the belly up as the air comes in. As I suck the air in, my belly goes up. I'm pushing it just so I'm facilitating, I'm helping the whole structure down here to direct the air to the bottom of the lungs. Again, by pushing my belly up, I am pushing my organs forward, and I'm leaving more room for my diaphragm and my bottom lungs to descend downwards. Let's do that and hold it for 3 seconds. And as you hold it for 3 seconds, you push up a little more. And finally, S sound, exhale. Long, 3, 4, 5 times longer than your inhale. That'll be a very effective diaphragmatic breathing protocol, which again will bring in more oxygen to the tissues, will help to downregulate more, to connect with your rest, digest, and recover, with your mammalian dive reflex. Let's do that for a couple of minutes, okay? And I'm gonna assess everyone as you go through it. At your own pace, at your own rhythm, try to kind of restrict the airflow from the lips as you okay. Yeah, should see the belly protrude. You're getting sleepy, that's very normal. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Good. I want to see that block moving. There you go. That's muscle control. That's great. There you go, muscle control. And drop it also as deep as you can. When the air goes out, try to squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Remember I was talking about expiratory muscles? These are your obliques and your rectus abdominis, your abdominal. So when you squeeze the air out, you're actually working those muscles. because they're the ones that are like, pushing in. So drop it as low as you can on the way out with that nice S sound. Tal vez lo puedas mover más para abajo, como en la pura, como en donde está el ombliguito, más abajo inclusive. Okay, great. Yeah. Nice. Extend that exhale as long, as far as you can, and bring that block as low as you can. Squeeze, 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 and then back to your next inhale. So we're really forcing, we're expanding both ways in the inhale and in the exhale. I like to see more of a intention on the, like push the belly, because there's a little bit of energy that's going up towards the ribs, which is normal. And I think it all kind of...
As soon as I do that, then I can't do... I don't know why, like, it doesn't come back.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a matter of...
This, that doesn't go.
It's okay. It's a matter of practice. But if you restrict the airflow a little more, just pretend that you're a vacuum. Pretend that you're a vacuum from the... There you go. No, it's actually... No, but it is actually moving a little more. Yeah. It was moving before, but it's moving more now as you restrict the airflow a little more. You really want to feel that there's even a little bit of teeth involved. Yeah, tiny, tiny O. That's it. The point is to feel that there's resistance.
I feel that more here than here. Every time I do that.
I can see that there's belly raising.
Feeling, I don't know.
Just try to be even a little stronger, like, like just be a bit more aggressive on the way you bring the air in, and restrict the airflow even more. So even tinier O. Almost as if you're trying to fully close, but there's still a little, almost like, kind of looks like, like somebody's puffing of a cigarette or something. There you go. It's like a reverse whistle, kind of, a reverse whistle, if you will. Yeah, reverse whistle is a good, there you go, guys. Now I know we're bringing a lot of intensity because we're just kind of rewriting the patterns, the neuromuscular patterns, because in the case of you being like an accessory muscle breather, which is very normal these days again. So we need to emphasize in the beginning a lot and do a lot of reps for that bottom. But at some point, guys, once you feel that you've established that connection, or maybe you already had it, just bring the intensity down a bit. Bring the intensity down a bit and even switch to nasal inhale. And now we're landing on that proper best airway, the nasal passages. So now you can switch, if you like, to nasal inhales. Keep your exhales through the mouth with that S sound, because that way you can, again, restrict the airflow on the way out. Good job, everybody. Let's all try nasal inhale, mouth exhale. Awesome. And I'm going to remove the blocks. This is just an exercise to activate that area and to just see how much progress we can, or how much connection and different sensations we can go through and feel. But if you were to breathe in one specific way for down regulation, this will be one really good one. Then there's other techniques like box breathing, 4-7-8, alternate nostril. There's many, but this is foundation, okay? To learn how to feel your diaphragm is foundation. This is the first thing we have to, I'm gonna remove the blocks. First thing we want to start working on is to train, thank you, the diaphragm, and to really be able, thank you, Maddie. Such a collaborative person, thank you. Okay, so diaphragm training, and at home you can use an exercise, weighted disc, like lifting disc or a heavy book. And again, benefits of this type of breathing, guys, you're bringing more oxygen to your body, you are down regulating your nervous system, so you're relaxing, you're decontracting musculature, you're increasing blood flow to everywhere in the body. And there's more. There's again, tonifying, if you will. Is that a word? Like bringing nice tone, better tone to your muscles of breathing, especially your abdominal, rectus abdominis, and your obliques, especially on that squeezing of the air out. You're really feeling, right, that there's engagement on those muscles. So yeah, many benefits of diaphragmatic breathing. Muscle control, muscle control. Okay, I'm sorry because I know you are laying comfortably. We're gonna have to switch to sitting position. We're gonna keep working up through that chain of musculature. Let me explain something really quick. Our lungs are containers, okay? They are organs. They're not muscles. The muscles are around the lungs, below, sideways, and above, on the sides and above. So picture that. The lungs, again, are containers, and they are also treatment plants, if you will, for gas exchange. That means take in the oxygen and let go of CO2, right? So how about we didn't have any musculature around the lungs? What will happen to us? Or if our muscles will be like weak and kind of stagnant and like lazy. Man, our breathing will be wacky, it won't be functional, and we will probably end up with some serious ailments. In fact, like use it or lose it, that saying, or motion is lotion also, it tells you also in the respiratory side of things that if you don't really activate all of the structures and tissues and nerves and muscles, connective tissue, whatnot, bones, there might be stagnation of fluids, stagnation of energy that may even result into collapse of certain lung areas. Like at COVID, if people knew how to ventilate better, people who really went through it could have probably do better with it, bringing in more oxygen to their system. And I like to bring that example, like people who are put on respirators. It is actually what the respirator is meant to do, is to increase the internal pressure, just so your alveoli, the little air sacs again that will open to receive, to bring in the oxygen, or collapsing. So what the respirator does is to increase that pressure internally, so the alveoli will open and they'll receive oxygen again. So people were hypoxic, they were going through low levels of oxygen, but a very well-trained lung has less chances to go through that because the musculature is so strong that is able to, pressurize that air as you guys were doing it now. Pressurizing, did you feel some pressure inside on the inhale? Well, that pressure and that capacity that you have to inhale, it's called inspiratory strength. It is literally a strength. As your bicep or your quads or any other muscle in your body will have strength, your internal breathing muscles will have that strength to inspire, to bring in the air. If those muscles are weak, you're not able to bring in that air to create that nice pressure. And so when there's no pressure, there's no suctioning, there's no receiving of that oxygen. Does that make sense the way I'm explaining it? Picture a flower that's partially bloomed and there's nothing open in it, but then you come and blow into it. It opens, its petals, will create some room, and then the air will come in. Same thing is happening when you're able to bring in enough air and fill your lungs, fully. So just some food for thought and some philosophy, if you will. We're gonna experience this on the next stage as well, maybe even more, tangible, because we're actually going to help each other. We're actually going to work with each other, okay? We're gonna grab a buddy. We're gonna grab a buddy. Maybe it could be the two people that are sitting together. Maybe Maria however you guys.
A dinosaur.
It's funny. Yeah. It's Tanosaurus. These are the spiny-tailed lizards. I actually learned that Del Mar somebody said to me, that was 15 years ago, these are not iguanas. I'm like, how come they're not iguanas? Yeah, they're spiny-tailed lizards. They're Tenosaurus similis. That's the scientific name, aka garrobo in Spanish, right? Yeah. The iguana is actually the scientific name, as these guys are Tenosaurus similis. That sounds Jurassic, right? It sounds like prehistorical. Well, the iguana's scientific name is iguana, 2 times iguana. Isn't it funny? Or green iguana for that matter. But it is only called iguana. These guys are called garrobo in Costa Rica, right? So, and the green iguanas, you can see them. They're green. They're bigger. They even get orangey, like in their crest and head. These guys are more bluish, sort of grayish, bluish. And these guys are less afraid of people than iguanas are. Iguanas are very spooky, right? They don't really get too close to people. Iguanas, yeah.
Not in Florida.
Not in Florida, okay. But here they kind of have that behavior. These guys are like fearless of people. They can really get close to you when you're eating fruits, like. Okay, so.
Upstairs seems skittish. There's a big one living on the pool deck.
Yeah.
It seems skittish.
They get everywhere, yeah. They used to live here as well. And they live in the pipes, in the piping. Anyhow, let's form teams of 2 and let's sit. We're gonna sit behind each other, okay? So just grab somebody and sit behind that person, and I'll keep explaining.
Okay. Like we're an odd number, so. Yeah, we're not.
I can work with I can work with any of you. I can work with you, Maria, if you like. Maybe, or with Jake, however.
I'll go.
Or you guys can work together.
You guys tell me.
Yeah. So, guys, what we're gonna do basically is we're gonna place our hands where we feel the bones, okay? The bones of our, you can bring your bolster so you can be more comfortable. I think the closer you are, you can even use your legs for support and for like fulcruming, for like helping to press your arms, because your arms will get a workout. So I'm palpating his ribs. I know where his ribs are. I can feel the bones, and now I squeeze as hard as I can. And now you guys breathing will bring in the air as hard as possible. Trying to now in this one to leave the lower belly inactive, okay? The air is no longer going to the very bottom, it's going to the sideways area. This is lateral breathing. Also, we're going to try to keep the shoulders from shrugging. We're going to try to keep the shoulders down. And maybe you can kind of hunch over a little bit, just kind of hunch over and feel how that inhale will drive the air to the center, okay? Let's all place our hands without pressing yet. Just feel where those bones are, the most quantity of bones are. Maybe those hands can be a little closer to the back rather to the front, and start squeezing at the count of 1, 2, 3, and you guys breathe in. Hold for a couple of seconds and press out onto those hands as you're trying to push those hands away. And now exhale strong, faster than before. There you go. Let's go back to the next one. Fully in, strong. Let it be heard. There you go. Shoulders down. Press those arms, those hands away. There you go. And exhale faster than before. You can feel those ribs moving, right, guys? You can feel those ribs moving. Let's do it again. Inhale strong. This is mouth breathing. Mouth inhale. Remember, like a vacuum through the mouth. Yeah. Okay. Shoulders down. Press those hands away and exhale. One last one. Yeah. You can feel it more now, right, Maddie? Because she was doing the inhale through the nose. Good. 3, 4 breaths. That's enough. Stop pressing and switch. Yeah, because you're able to palpate to feel how physiology works and the ribs really. So let me explain for a second while you guys kind of rest your arms, because this puts a lot of strain, especially in the deltoids. You can feel the deltoids and some of the forearms. Guys, we have two layers of musculature in the ribs. Okay, we have a layer for inspiration and a layer for expiration. So the layer for inspiration is mainly the one that we're working on right now. This is the one that these muscles right here in between the ribs is called the intercostals. Intercostals means in between the ribs. The intercostal musculature, when you engage them, when you tighten those muscles will bring the rib cage out. it will expand the rib cage. And what the rib cage does when it expands out, again, it helps to suck air from the outside. Literally, this, it is an action that's composed of some diaphragm, of course, because inevitably the diaphragm will trigger. But now that you are trying to keep that belly in, all that engagement, all that energy is going up, and these guys expanding are basically sucking, creating negative pressure, and that through the mouth gets traduced or translated into the air coming in. What drives respiration, besides CO2, that's at a chemistry level, it is your internal mechanical. When you just go like this, the air goes in. When you go like this, when you squeeze, there is definitely some musculature throughout the trachea that also makes part of that process, but it's basically, you think about what makes the air come in is your musculature. And the same what's making the air go out is your musculature. So that musculature we're training right now. As if we're doing, squats, as if we're doing, bench presses, whatever you like to do. This is also training, but there's no joints in those muscles. There's no concentric and eccentric faces, there's no like push and pull. You just have to engage them and put pressure on them. That's how you get them trained. Okay, so let's again try to keep the lower belly inactive, and all that energy goes to the center, okay? Also shoulders down. So just by doing a really good job pulling that nice strong inhale, you'll probably feel those ribs, that musculature engaging, okay? All right, let's start pressing out the count of 1, 2, 3. Press firmly. Good job, bro. Oh, we're supposed to do it the other way around, but it's okay. It's okay. No, you're actually stronger now, bro. Okay, let's keep going. Press firmly, guys. You can even feel the lats engaging, right? The lats muscles. Okay, I'm gonna switch now.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, bro. Press firmly. We're helping each other to become stronger. Remember to hold the breath for 2 seconds as you press even more so out. One more. Hold the breath in for 2 or 3 seconds and press out, and that's it. And finally, exhale. Thanks, bro. Cool.
Thank you.
You can feel, right? You can feel the ribs moving?
They are.
Okay.
Definitely feeling your ribs expand. Yeah.
So guys, in free diving, people who hold their breath and they dive deep, or they just, there's different modalities. You can hold your breath, static breath hold. You can hold your breath as you dive down a lanyard. This is quintessential free diving training. This is like prime free diving training. This is what the free divers, top guys do to, again, train their musculature to engage more, body areas for respiration, and to create more volume internally. So yes, Jay.
Do freedivers use some sort of like band to do what we just did?
Yeah,
Is there
bro.
an actual tool?
Totally. There's a guy. Well, there's actually a tool called the breathing belt, and it's basically almost like, ¿cómo se dice una faja?
Belt?
Okay, thank you. A belt for like lifting. It's similar, and you put it around again the intercostals, and you just tie it, and then and it does the work as we were doing it with our hands. Also, putting like a heavy object in your belly and just lifting it works the diaphragm. And then with the accessory muscles, I guess somebody can just push down on you as you're, because now we're going to move up to this area. But yeah, free divers, they do all kinds of exercise or training to strengthen their musculature and to be able to cope with the discomforts, so they create that discomfort. So for instance, there's a thing called the diaphragm massage or diaphragm stretch, which is actually from yoga. I think it's called the bandhas, the holds, the locks, as you exhale fully, the air, and you suck your belly in. So you're creating that positive pressure, And so you're, first of all, again, exhaling fully and then creating that positive pressure. So that kind of feels uncomfortable, you know? It's almost like emulating or mimicking the atmospheric pressure at depth. You know, as you descend into the depths, the pressure around your body increases, and it just feels like you're being squeezed, you know, everywhere, squeeze, and your airways get squeezed. These are the ones that will be squeezed the most, airways, right? Like lungs, basically, and like all throughout the, you know, nasal, yeah, the trachea and the pharynx and larynx and all that gets really squeezed. But the lungs are mainly the ones who will get the most of it, because there's the bigger airways or air containers. So you actually on dry land work on that discomfort by doing stuff like this and even pressing into it. Just so when it happens through the atmospheric changes, you're used to that sensation and it doesn't overwhelm you, it doesn't bother you at depth. Because that's one of the reasons why people can't keep going, is because of the physical sensation of the squeeze. So you train that on land. You train stuff also like packing, which is a reverse one. You just basically take a deep breath in and then keep swallowing bits past your, you know, your maximum, then you force bits of air in until you really have a lot of pressure. You got to be careful because you can tear muscle, you can tear tissue, because you're just putting a lot of pressure against those walls of the lungs, and then that also helps. So the whole point for when you're a free diver is to be flexible, connected, and strong. So flexibility throughout all the tissues, so they can, you know, just adapt to those squeezes and, you know, changes of pressures. Connection, so you know exactly how to use every stage and maximize your lung capacity. And strength, again, because, you know, the stronger you are, the more capacity you will have, the more air you'll bring in, the more air you can store in your lungs as a tank, literally as an oxygen tank. So, all right, let's good. Let's keep working towards the last stage, which is the accessory muscles. Again, guys, there's nothing wrong with breathing with the accessory muscles. The problem is to breathe with them only. Okay. What I mean is, if you're constantly up here, again, you're pounding your nervous system with the activation of your fight or flight, your alert state, because you've seen it when somebody gets scared. The first thing that is noticeable is the breath, and maybe facial, you know, factions. But then the next is, you know, breathing accelerates, and you can see the pattern predominantly being like a superficial, like right here. Okay, so also it speeds up. So the more we can slow down, that's another takeaway. The more we can slow down our breath, the better health we will have. The more we can use this and this, the more health we will have, the more down regulation we will have. The more we can use the nostrils, the nasal passages, the more health and the more functionality we will have. These three things I want you to, you know, take with you. I know you probably, you know, have explored these concepts before, maybe separate or maybe together or maybe none. But again, slowing down the breath, the time that you take on every inhale, every exhale, running the air through the nostrils, nasal passages, and we'll explain why, we'll talk about why. And finally, using the diaphragm first, always diaphragm first. That'll be, again, the original pattern in which we came into this world breathing, was belly breathing, nasal breathing. And then here's not a theory anymore. This has been studied by social, I guess, I don't know if it's an anthropologist or a social, like behavioral therapist of sorts, but it is documented. When we become of more awareness and consciousness of the world that surrounds us, that we live in, we start changing our breathing pattern. When our innocence and our bliss of being a child with no with not a lot of pressure from this life and just the love and care of our parents, just taking care of everything for us. We are not exposed yet to the wild world fully. In some cases, sadly, there are kids that are, but in most cases they're not. So when we start realizing through the news on TV, or parents arguing, or the bully kid at school, or it could be anything from that, or maybe witnessing some bad thing in the street, as we're driving by. I remember when I was a kid, we went through this horrible car accident. We were going to the beach with my parents, and I couldn't help. My mom was like, don't look, and like she's trying to block me from not seeing, because there's like people, like bodies in the street from this bus, and I'm like, no, I want to watch. I should have listened to her. I think that marked me. So stuff like that, right? Like, wow, you start getting shocked by how sometimes crazy this world can be. Well, first thing that goes south in your functional, proper, original structure is your breathing. It starts going more like shallower, faster. I remember after that episode, I'm hyperventilating. I got nervous. I'm like, oh my god, I had nightmares at night. So it is just an example, to tell you that the world can modify the breathing pattern, and it certainly does, where a lot of people is walking around life without knowing it, constantly triggering that feedback, a vicious loop of stimulating the fight or flight through breathing through the mouth, through breathing short, and through breathing superficially with these muscles right here. There is baroreceptors in the carotid artery in the neck. Baro means pressure, right? So pressure receptors that they sense when we're activating this area right here. And this receptor will tell the brain, hey, be careful. Something is happening, something is wrong, and it may not be the case. Just because you're breathing here tells the brain otherwise, and the brain doesn't distinguish. It just goes by signals. So that's to tell you guys that belly breathing is the best, is the first thing we should train for it, just as we did with the blocks or our own hands. You can also do it. At the end of the workshop, I'll walk you through a 5 to 7 minute morning protocol if you want to incorporate it. It won't take that much, and it'll go through the whole series of things that we're doing today. Okay, let's use these guys right here. Pectoral, trapezius, sternocleidomastoid, because it is part of it. Guys, by the way, these are the big, these are the backups. These are the bodyguards, the big boys of respiration, of breathing. You put them on when you need them. What I mean by that is when you're exerting, physical exertion, that's when you use these guys right here. That's why they're called accessory. Accessory means extra. You just have them there ready in case you need them, but they're not your go-to, your first option. When you start getting that heart rate above zone 3, for instance, and you start feeling the need for more air, you're starting to explore this area. Other than that, you should always be right here, okay? Now the moment again that heart rate starts going up, you go, then you start exploring again the accessory. Okay, leave those for what they are, accessory musculature for, again, when you need more air. Let's now deactivate here, and go all up here. It's probably going to start being felt from here, from the upper ribs, all the way to, the sternum and the last few ribs. It's going to look and sound like this. Oh, Scarlett. It's going to look and sound like this, guys. If you look at me for a second or two. See how after my inhale, I drop shoulders and I even puff up my chest? And so I can feel that nice pressure here, like a dove, like King Kong. You really want to have this robust chest and that sensation. And then same breathing pattern in all 3 stages. Same breathing pattern. Strong, aggressive inhale, just for now, for pushing a little bit. Hold, rest, push, and slow exhale all through the mouth for now, okay? Let's do it together. You may be a little lightheaded after this one because we're getting close to this areas right here. So the blood flow may be a little bit restricted, the signal for hyperventilation almost may be sent. Let's do it at the count of 1, 2, 3. Shrug those shoulders up, squeeze that tiny last bit of air, and drop shoulders, hold your breath, puff off your chest. Feel that nice, and exhale. Yeah. At your own pace, at your own rhythm. Visualize and feel how that expansion is coming through in that top area of the lungs. And yeah, bring the shoulders down at the end of the inhale and exhale. Great. You want to do the rest of the job with your shoulders, like voluntarily shrugging up towards the end, especially towards the end, and that head tilting back a tiny bit. There you go. And finally dropping those shoulders, and when that shoulder drops, that chest puffs up, you feel that pressure, that expansion, you're expanding. So you're bringing in expansion. Yeah, you get lightheaded a little bit. This is very normal. Let's actually do one more and leave it right there. Great. Just take a second or two if you like to stretch like legs or want to do any sort of stretching. Great. How you all feeling? Not getting bored with all the talk? Thanks, bro.
This is how we deal with life.
Yeah.
Learning how to breathe.
Yeah.
Or being aware of it.
Totally, exactly. In fact, Maria, thanks for bringing that up, because in the philosophies part of this workshop, we talk about the first and the last thing that we do, right? The alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. It is an inhale and an exhale. We go out, we check out on an exhale. We check in on an inhale in life. We breathe, literally, we breathe anywhere from 20 to 25,000 times per day. That's more than thoughts, unless you have a really busy head. And then also, I was gonna say also, if you boil it down to the most vital element for survival, what it may be, is air. Because you can live without water for a few days, you can live without food for a few weeks, you can live without sunlight for a few months, you can live without people for a few years. You cannot live without air for a few minutes, right?
That's true.
Literally, if you just kind of scale it and just in terms of, the priority is air. So that's how important air is, yet too often is overlooked or underestimated. The way we do it, how we're doing it, what is it causing or creating, how we're feeling, depending on how we're doing it. And also, philosophically speaking, there is a belief in ancient cultures. I believe it's the Buddhist from Tibet and the Krishna and the yogic, philosophy. Also, they believe that we are given an amount of breaths to administer, to use throughout our lifetime. So if we are breathing short, we're getting rid of those quicker. If we're extending the duration of every inhale, exhale, we're also extending our life. In fact, in freediving class, they taught us if you breathe half, you live half. And that's also pertaining to quality of life. Because again, you can make your life easier by breathing easier, by breathing just slowly and more conscious.
But they will teach us this as kids, right?
Yeah.
Like it should be a workshop at school.
Yeah.
We go through situations and then we don't know, and that's when anxiety comes because we don't know how to breathe, or we forget how to breathe, or just to be aware of it. It should be a life skill in school.
Part of the curriculum, right? Yeah, for real. Yeah, I know that there's people who incorporates that. I guess like sort of alternative options for schools. I don't know if Montessori has something with it a little bit, Or maybe some teachers will just take it on their own and go, hey kids, let's just do like box breathing or something. But yeah, breathing for sure. So we're having a long conversation. Let's keep going. We're gonna connect the 3 stages now into one wave, okay, into one deep breath. And I'm gonna lay flat in front of you so I can show you what you guys are about to do for 5 cycles. You're gonna do 5 cycles of this, and after this 5 cycles, this is gonna be all mouth at first, okay, but then you transition into your nasal passages. So you're going again slowly into the proper breathing pattern, which is nasal, slow, and say 3 stage for now, but you know now that this is only, right, for whenever you really need it. But still, we'll just make it part of it because we want to have like a full connection, okay? But again, knowing that this is for when you're exercising. The point is to start here and definitely, you know, follow up with here and then a little bit here. So 5 cycles of this 3-part breath. It's called 3-part breath. It's gonna look and sound like this. On the way out, leave the belly for last. All the way, squeeze it so you can really feel the abdominal region working. Leave the belly for last. Because if I will tell you, start exhaling through the chest is not easy. But if you just think of the belly for last, it's easier, okay? So you're actually establishing more control. It's positive, it's good control over your physiology, right? It's like knowing how to work with your physiology, like telling your muscles what to do. This is really cool. Okay, we're gonna do 5 of those, and then we're gonna switch to nasal breathing. Same thing, nasal breathing. After we do 5 and 5, we're gonna just try and breathe in a subtle, relaxing way. We can probably go back to the diaphragmatic breathing that we did at first, but with less emphasis. By the way, let's remove the bolsters. Yes, so we are, thank you, gracias, amigo. Let me just put this back so you guys are totally neutral. Thanks for bringing that up. We're gonna be totally neutral, and that way, unless you want to have a bolster like in your knees or something. Yeah. However, like however you feel. If you want to have a bolster in your knees, that's great. But as for your trunk, your back, and your cervical, it should be all neutral. Okay, so we're gonna do it all together in a little bit. We're gonna do the 5 cycles of belly, ribs, and chest. So if we were to call this technically, it'll be diaphragmatic, intercostal, and pectoral, or accessory. If we were to call it colloquially, it'll be belly, ribs, and chest. Belly, ribs, and chest breathing. Okay? So at the count of 3, remember to squeeze that air in, pressurize the air as you shape your lips as a tiny O. At the count of 3, 2, 1. Excellent. And on the way out, leave the belly for last, remember. Belly for last. Yeah. So right here. Start empty, so try to squeeze it all out. Squeeze it all out. So right now you brought it up here. Try to raise your belly first.
So on the breath, raise it.
Yeah, on the inhale, first thing that moves is the belly. There you go, perfect. Now keep going up. There you go. And now finally here a little bit. That's it. That's perfect. And then leave the belly for last. Keep that belly pushing up as the air goes out. And whenever you can't go anymore, then it goes down. Good job. Yeah. Great, guys. 5 cycles. How we doing? Good? 5 cycles, and now we switch to nasal. I know there's usually bugs everywhere. Sorry.
It's okay. There's someone's inhale.
Costa Rica. I swallowed a mosquito once for breathing. I'm gonna see if this fans can go a little faster. No, this is all they have. Good job, friends. So now for the nasal breathing, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna drop a drop of lavender oil in your index finger. It could be the right index finger. So Jake, right index finger. Now you can rub the back of either or. You can rub the back of your ears with it. You can rub the back of your ears and maybe some of your face. This won't sting because it's just lavender. Okay. The idea is that we have this scent. We have this scent going, yeah, back of the ears, and maybe the chin, the neck a little bit, so you can have that that scent all around you. And this is very relaxing. Lavender is very soothing of the nervous system. So yeah, back of the ears, maybe the neck a little bit, the chin, maybe even the nose a little bit. You can finish with the nostrils a little bit. Now we go for nasal breathing, guys. We go for nasal breathing now. And as we do that, we imagine ourselves kind of all nasal. We imagine ourselves breathing like that basically throughout the day. Just imagine yourself breathing as you are at a given scenario, walking down the street, on your computer, writing something, just listening to music at home, and you are aware, conscious of the 3-part breath, and you know how to use it, and you are breathing with your belly first, and then with your ribs. If you need it, you go up to the chest. But basically, you imagine yourself, doing land work, just watering the plants, washing the dishes, any just daily task. Talking to somebody, having a conversation, and then just visualize yourself, again, breathing with your belly first, and then ribs, through your nostrils. Okay, for the second and last breath hold, which you guys are basically preparing for as we speak, we're gonna take that last breath in through the mouth, okay? So we fully pack the lungs with as much air as possible. We wanna try and get those lungs fully packed with air. If there is a little bit of discomfort after you took that last breath in, just give yourself a little time, because you may get used to that pressure at some point. It is common that people say, wow, I feel like I took so much air, I feel like, I'm basically about to pop or something. They feel that pressure, but again, if you just give yourself 5-10 seconds, you may adapt to that pressure. If not, you can always release a little bit of air in order to feel more comfortable. But know that the air that you're letting out, you need it to sustain your breath hold. Okay? The more air you have inside, the more oxygen is available for you to sustain your breath hold. Then as we prepare with S sound, soft exhales, keep listening to me, because I'm going to give you a couple of tools to work with on your breath hold journey. The first one is body scanner, okay? It is an element from yoga that basically consists into running a virtual body scanner that goes from head to toes and back up. And as that scanner goes through, guys, you're looking for the tiniest muscle contraction that may still be happening, and just letting it go, releasing it fully, disconnecting your musculature as you were basically sound asleep. Okay, so that is body awareness, body consciousness. That body scanner is necessary to have the body really relaxed in order to last longer on your breath hold. Number 2, you can visualize, this is very cool, you can just go vividly, very, very intensely and sharply focus on something that inspires you, that moves you. It may be dancing, cooking, presenting a nice, beautiful dish to a group of friends and everybody's just happy about it. Or it may be that surfing maneuver that you've been working on for years. It may be like a really nice barrel on a blue, transparent Caribbean water, you know, and you can just visualize yourself deep in it, looking for, you know, that exit. It could be many things, guys. It could be your best personal at running, crossing that finish line with that watch, you know, pointing out at the best personal, and something that moves you, that inspires you, that you're passionate about. Visualize yourself vividly going through that moment and play that movie over and over in your head, okay? And then lastly, you can just count seconds in your head slowly. You can just think of something. It could be your own tactic or technique. It could just be something that really, really moves you. Think of your puppy, for instance, or something, you know, or a family member that you love. Something that, again, will make you feel good, okay? Let's focus on feel good images, okay? Play that movie in your head over and over. That way, you'll be programming yourself and distracting also in a good way, so that time goes by and all of a sudden you notice, wow, I've been holding my breath for 2 minutes because I have not been worrying about it, right? I've been visualizing, I've been in my own little meditation world. Okay, so I'll give you those tools, you guys play with them. Again, and positive self-talk, by the way, positive self-talk. Recite your inner mantra, whatever it is. I am strong, I am healthy, I am beautiful, I'm intelligent, I'm strong, I'm unique, all right? I got this. Nice breeze blowing. Let's all sigh together. Sigh as sighing for relaxation. On the way out, on the exhale, anything that doesn't favor you goes out the door. On the inhale, all the beauty and all the amazing energies and all of the goodness from this world, that this universe, this creation comes in. Anything that doesn't favor us goes out. And we just sigh, guys. Let's sigh a few more times as I will start the countdown. Remember, I'm going to count from 10 till 1. When I get to 1, fully in. Pack those lungs as much as possible. Few more sighs, guys. Last few sighs. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, mouth inhale, 3, 2, 1. Good job, everybody. Off we go. Run that body scanner, relaxing fully from head to toes. We are at 20 seconds. Good job, everybody. Just passed the 30 seconds. Feel good about it. This is great. Mental and physical training. Nice, 53 seconds. You got it better, longer than the first one. Good job. We just reached the minute, guys. See, progress. Enjoy, guys. And if discomfort kicks in, just smile at it. That was 113. 113. Nice. Smile at it, okay? If discomfort kicks in, smile at it. Ahora, inhala y exhala bastante por la boca para que... Eso, María. 127. 127. Good job. Breathe in and out, strong through the mouth, just for a few cycles to move a lot of air. This is 140, bro. 140. We're getting close to 2 minutes, and we still have 3 people holding. 140, Kedler. And 10 seconds away from 2 minutes. Bear with us a little longer. You guys are doing great. And we are at 2 minutes. That was awesome. Breathe in and out strong through the mouth. 205, my friend. Jake, good job. Breathe in and out strong. Breathe in and out strong through the mouth, bro. Let's just move a lot of air. Right on, Maddie. Maddie, you're at 215. Good job. Stay with us a little longer. We are almost at 230, and that'll be a really good milestone right there. We are at 230. If you feel like you can keep going, there you go, 232. That's why I like to say where we are. That's nice, buddy. That's nice. Yeah, breathe in and out. Very important. When we finish a breath hold, we want to do at least 5 or 6 cycles of controlled hyperventilation. Controlled hyperventilation to what? To offload extra CO2 accumulated in our bloodstream. Because CO2, carbon dioxide, is an acid molecule. We want to get rid of it and just get back to normal baseline levels. Good job, friends. Good job. And I am sure if we were to go for one more breath hold with a few more exercises in between, you'll probably get that 10, 20 seconds, you know, in some cases more above your initial. Can you do the math briefly and just compare your first with your second? I know you put like 30 seconds or something. Yeah, that was very nice. Anybody has an idea then? On
107 to like over 2 minutes.
There you go. You pretty much almost doubled it.
Yeah.
Almost doubled it. That's crazy. Doubling it your first time is really good. Yeah.
I had 123.
Okay, so yeah, so 1 minute and like 7 seconds or something. Yeah, there you go. Imagine 1 more minute and 7 seconds. Like that's 67 seconds. And Jake?
I'm trying to remember. I did 130.
Yeah. Oh, you were like the one before.
Yeah, we were like right.
You're pretty much, you're very close to 2 minutes.
You were like right after me, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yes. So maybe like what, 40 or something seconds?
30 seconds.
Like on top? Like
Yeah.
you definitely added a bunch of seconds. María,
Como 23 segundos.
ahí está.
creo.
Eso. Y nuestra amiga,
Como 20 segundos.
como 20 segundos.
Sí.
Ahí está. And 26 seconds. Right on. Excellent. So yeah, you can see that, and that's the mammalian dive reflex. Es el instinto mamífero marino, que es una herramienta que todos tenemos, que la activas. You activate that tool, mammalian dive reflex, just by holding your breath. Friends, take a couple of seconds to stretch, and let's just finish with Q's and A's and maybe discussing the benefits of nasal breathing, okay? Which is a good part of the conversation. And
He's gonna nap here till dinner.
yeah, right. There's so much stuff we can cover and talk about with breath related topics, and different techniques like the alternate nostril and the 4-7-8. If you have any questions, maybe you want to know about like a good technique to downregulate also besides the diaphragmatic. 4-7-8, for instance, is a great technique. This is the one where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, right? That's like before going to bed is like really good. Box breathing, as we did it yesterday on the cold plunge, it's really good to stay focused, to stay focused. Yeah, and you recite your own mantra. Let's talk about nasal breathing before we wrap it up, okay? nasal breathing, I would like to make it interactive. What do you think are benefits for nasal breathing? We touched on the mouth breathing.
Filter system.
Is a filter system. That's well said. Is a filter, is like our HVAC. And the nuance of it is that we have nasal hair. First of all, that's the first line of defense for bigger airborne particles, dust mites. You know, there might be pathogens flying around, mold, whatnot. You never know. It gets trapped in that first line of defense. Where are them?
It just was right here on the tree and flew around.
Okay. Yeah. So that hair is actually called by science vibraceae, vibraceae, and it's probably because it vibrates. I'm guessing. That's the first line of defense, right? When you go deeper, that's why I don't like to trim it anymore. I kind of, cut a little bit of what's sticking out, but like from the door in, I try to leave it intact because it became more important for me now that I know this concept. So then you have the mucosa. Mucosa is gooey, is sticky, and it is humid. It's a layer that covers your passages all throughout, the turbinates, and there's also mucosa throughout the bronchioles, and bronchioles. There's also mucosa, which is basically a place where stuff that doesn't belong in there sticks to it. It gets trapped. It sticks to it, right? And along the cilia, that's another interesting word. Cilia is basically like a carpet, that covers those passages. And that hair that the carpet has, that hair sweeps constantly that mucosa with that mucus, and the stuff, the particles binding to that mucus to the back of the throat. When you do this, you're actually helping for that to be removed quicker. It goes to the end of the throat, to the back of the throat, and it gets swallowed, right? And the stomach acids will finish the job, will neutralize those potential pathogens that may wreak havoc in your lungs if they enter your lungs. So all that filtering system is basically there to protect our lungs from anything that doesn't belong to our lungs to penetrate. They're sacred. They're like safe havens, right? They should be clean, and so yeah, that filtering system. That's basically how it works. But also we have nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is an air purifier, like ozone is almost. And nitric oxide, we have 3 different mechanisms to produce nitric oxide in our system. And nitric oxide is a gas. It's a gas that when in contact with air, it neutralizes anything in that air that's not good, that's not pure, that has a positive charge, if you will. And also that nitric oxide, when in touch with the vessels, with the circulatory pipes, veins, arteries, and capillaries, it helps them to dilate, so your vascularity, the blood flow gets better. And nitric oxide is, by the way, the same thing that the blue pill aims to do, is a massive oxygenation event, if you will. But it's targeted, it's got to be stimulated. So basically nitric oxide is being used now in sports for enhancing performance. Even athletes, this is crazy, are taking microdoses of the blue pill. You know what I'm talking about, the blue pill, right? Microdoses of the blue pill, Viagra, or sildenafil, or whatever they're breaking a pill into 4, so they're taking one, tiny microdosing in order for that, because if you're doing it for sports, again, the release of nitric oxide into your bloodstream will make your vessels to dilate more, so you get better blood oxygen transport, or oxygenated blood transport. So you get better functioning. It's crazy. Yeah, so microdosing, it's a trend now in endurance sports. It's crazy. Because of the nitric oxide.
Is he just chilling in the tree?
Nice.
Oh, he's literally right there. Oh my gosh.
Ah, qué linda, ahí se parqueó. Yeah. These are the moments where we're oh no, we're waiting for this for sure.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Please everybody just deploy your cameras for sure. Me da feedback luego de todo. Porque para mucha gente es como, quiero más, pero hay otros que dicen, verga, qué montón de información, ¿sabes? Entonces como,
Eso es súper valioso para todos.
Sí.
No es solo un es un short workshop para la vida.
sí, María, yo lo he hecho mucho como porque yo soy tan curioso y yo estudio, yo hice ya 2, 3 certificaciones buenas, ¿sabes? De freediving, entonces me enseñó mucho, tengo libros y me la paso, ¿sabes? Pero ya me gustaría como empezar a irme más como un poco por la nota, no chamánica diría yo, pero sí yógica. Yo siento que yo tengo mucho que recorrer en el yoga que no lo hice en el pasado y he tenido la oportunidad. He hecho clases con Kata, he hecho clases en la época en Vidyasana, no sé, con Alejandra, con este, con el otro, con un montón de clases de yoga, pero nunca como yo estudiarlo, ¿sabes? Y ahora me estoy dando cuenta que, bueno, el pranayama es puro yogic breathing. Esteban de Krama me dijo una vez surfeando, me dijo, "Mae", un poco así como arrogante, él me dijo, "Mae", porque yo le estaba diciendo, bro, me gusta mucho el tema de la respiración, como sabiendo que el man es un gurú en la vara, ¿no? Como a ver qué me podía decir él. ¿Y qué, bro? Tú practicas mucho, me imagino, pranayama, me gustaría, "Mae, cualquier respiración consciente es pranayama". Y se fue remando. Y yo, bueno, está bien. Pero me quedó el concepto. Bueno, respiración consciente. Que sepas que estás escuchándote y sintiéndote. Estás sintiendo el aire circulando. Que está.
Increíble, porque cuando yo más bien estoy muy acostumbrada a hacer belly breathing.
Qué bueno.
Más bien, ahora que
Bueno.
estaba tratando de hacer solo como el de acá,
Ajá,
me
te
cuesta
costaba.
más.
Qué increíble. Qué bueno, María.
Pero
¿Ves?
yo, ¿cómo aprendo a hacerlo? Tuve que controlar demasiado porque naturalmente yo hago belly breathing.
Belly breathing,
Y hasta
qué
hoy
bueno.
me di cuenta.
Pues you're one of a kind.
Ay,
Porque
qué maravilla.
sí, you're one of a kind. Porque no sé, eso tiene que ver mucho también cómo uno fue criado, con la fortaleza con la que uno se forjó, ¿sabes? Tal vez, no sé.
Rechazos de la vida y uno
También,
aprendiendo.
o tal vez algo sí, genético, psicológico, algo diferente, seguro, porque
Sí,
80.
ahora que lo practiqué, que solamente está, ¿verdad? El nasal breathing es cortito. No sé, si solamente, si trataba de no hacer belly breathing y solo trataba de hacer nasal breathing, así como por acá, es cortito, es rápido,
Depende si estás buscando una técnica per se, por ejemplo, el fire breathing.
que es como, pero ahí estás usando la panza.
Sí, pero me refiero a lo corto de la respiración, a la cantidad de aire que está ingresando y saliendo. Porque sí o sí, para buscar relajación tenemos que expandir. Tenemos que, sobre todo, mira, hay periquitos también, these are parakeets. Barcelona, míralo.
Hoy en la mañana
Mira.
yo me desperté muy temprano y me pasaron
Qué bueno.
gambas de disco, o sea,
Ah,
demasiado.
qué cool. ¿Has disfrutado tu estadía?
Demasiado. Y ese árbol que está frente a ese bungalow,
Ajá.
llegan todos los hummingbirds.
Ah,
es
sí
un
es cierto,
polinizador
sí es
increíble.
Tiene como unas florecitas que son como
Pelitos
unas...
así,
pelitos, sí.
les
Se
fascina.
comen, por cierto.
¿En serio?
Sí, sí, sí. Aquí cuando vinieron los... Mira las lapas allá otra vez. Look at the scarlets there again. These guys are monogams, right? They're like, they fly in pairs.
They're so pretty.
They're always in pairs. Wow. Guys, this is our
Show.
Air Force. This is the Costa Rican Air Force.
Sunset show.
Miguel was giving us the welcome speech
Yeah.
the first morning.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as he's finishing, a whole flock of them went
Aw.
by, and like right behind,
Wow.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Three.
So nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And and they were like, nice flyover. Nice
Fly over, yeah.
yeah.
Did you pay them, Miguel?
Right, that's actually what somebody said. They're like,
This
there's
was
no Air
fixed.
Force.
That was fixed.
This is the
That's
fixed
so
flyover
funny.
for you.
A flyover welcome,
Yeah.
parade. That's so funny. Well, guys, just to wrap it up, I'm just gonna roll this as I speak, but we have a 5 to 7 minutes at home routine. Basically, on your own, you can just place your dominant hand on your belly and do, let's say, 1 minute minimum of belly breathing. If you have a yoga block or a big book or a exercise, weighted disc, that's awesome. You can lay flat and do it. Other than that, you can just be, legs crossed, sitting. 1 minute. Watch it on the clock. 1 minute on your own. Intercostals. Squeeze, press those ribs inwards. Look down to see if your hands are moving. Both in and out, right? On your own, right? Finally, on your own, chest or accessory breathing. Squeezing that last bit of air up here, making sure that you visualize the top of the lungs expanding upwards as much as you do visualize the sides and back of the lungs expanding sideways and back, and the bottom expanding downwards when you go through each one of those stages. That's it. 1 minute of each, that's 3 minutes. Then 1 minute of the full deep breath. 1 more minute, that's 4 minutes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then take 1 more minute to lay flat and relax and breathe diaphragmatically. Do longer exhales as you prepare with your stopwatch for that breath hold. And take that deep breath in. Stopwatch, Shavasana. Do your breath hold, whether it's 50 seconds or a minute and a half. Push a little bit so you get that nervous system a nice, activation. And exhale. Stop the timer, check it later. Recovery breaths, very important after breath holding. To offload CO2, because CO2, carbon dioxide, accumulates as you hold your breath, right? And you want to bring it down again, okay? Because high levels of CO2, no bueno. It's not no bueno, but if being hypercapnic, that's the word for high levels of CO2, may cause a little dizziness. And so anyhow, that'll be 5 minutes right there. 5-6 minutes. And if you want to top it off, if you want to get more lung expansion, you can do stuff like asanas, yoga poses or stretching poses on a full lung. So for instance, this is just lastly for you guys to have something to, if you want to go deeper into the practice, if you want to enhance your lung capacities, you take, for instance, in this pose, a deep breath. And go for a cobra. Maybe throw a little variation of looking over one shoulder, looking over the other shoulder, and exhale down. Right there, as you arched up, you're squeezing the lungs, right? And then the air is wanting to go sideways, thus bringing that expansion. You can do forward fold, for instance. I like to sit like this. Vicky, and take a deep breath in and go for your forward fold. Right there, the lungs are getting a nice squeeze. The air is wanting to go sideways again, bringing expansion. And as you're there holding, you release and you go deeper into the pose. It feels great because you go, oh, I'm going deeper into the pose. That's awesome. Anything that has bending or twisting, you can do like 4 of this or 4 of this. And then you're just getting your lungs as if they were balloons and you're pressing in different directions. And that air, as it wants to escape through the opposite direction, it doesn't escape. It brings in expansion. So that's that flexibility that the pulmonary tissues may be getting. And the surrounding tissues, again, flexibility, strength, and control. That's the takeaways. Slowing down the breath, running it through the nostrils, and doing it in the right order. Belly, ribs, and chest if you need it. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you so much. Igualmente. Qué bueno.